Hi guys! So today I am about 7 weeks and 2 days pregnant, and that is according to my last ultrasound, which a lot of you guys know is not very accurate. But if I go off of that last ultrasound, then I'm about 7 weeks and 2 days today. So I have a lot of updating to do because this past week, all of a sudden I feel really pregnant and not in a good way either. So I'm gonna go ahead and start at like the beginning of the week because I have a lot to update on. So the beginning of the week comes, and there was one night where I was just like, I was so hungry and I didn't want to eat anything. Like everything sounded so disgusting. And so like I posted a picture on my Instagram saying how I was like hungry and I didn't know what to eat, just like for suggestions. And somebody said a salad. If that was you, thank you. So it was 11 p.m. I sent Drake, there was no like stores open around here, like maybe Walmart would have been open, but he didn't want to go all the way to Walmart. So I sent him to McDonald's to get me a salad from McDonald's, and I wanted specifically iceberg lettuce and Italian dressing. So you may or may not call that a salad, but I was just craving that. So I sent him to go get me a salad, and that just like hit the spot, and that was awesome. So that was like the first thing, and I don't even know, that may or may not have been pregnancy related. I mean, some people say that cravings are just like in your head. I used to be one of those people, but now I'm starting to think maybe like it does have to do with hormones. So anyway, a few days later, I was feeling really nauseous. Like in the middle of the night, I woke up and I was just nauseous, and I just wasn't feeling good. And that was on, I think that was on Friday. I just wasn't feeling, I was feeling off. I was feeling like sick and just not in a happy mood. I was just like not in a good mood at all. So then yesterday comes, and I woke up, and yesterday was my first day of school. The second half of summer semester started yesterday. So I have a morning class. It's only a month. It's only a month long. So since it's only a month long and it's a math class, which is like 5 units, I'm there from 8 to 12 for 4 days a week. So I was already dreading that. And then I wake up and I'm like throwing up. Like I didn't actually throw up, but I'm like basically throwing up in my mouth. Like I was so sick. I didn't want to eat anything. Everything that I looked at was disgusting. So it was like my first day of school, and on top of that I had the first morning sickness. So it was horrible. I felt horrible. I finally made myself eat a bagel, and I went to school, and then when I was at school I was like, wow, I really want hot Cheetos. Really bad. So I went to like the little school cafeteria and I bought myself some hot Cheetos. That was a really bad idea. So I ate those. Lucky me, I got really sick off of them. It was just, I already have a slight allergy to corn, and for some reason there's something in hot Cheetos that just makes me like feel horrible, and it's probably just the fact that they're really bad for you. That's probably what it is. But I don't know if there's some ingredient in it that I'm like slightly allergic to, but I feel like I'm dying after I eat hot Cheetos. But I was like dying for this. I knew better. I knew I was gonna feel like that, and I ate them anyway. So it was stupid on my part. So I ate them, and then all day yesterday, from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, I felt like I was gonna puke all day long. And I'm one of those people where I don't throw up unless I'm pregnant. And then there's only been 2 times when I was ever like sick that I throw up. Like it's really hard to make me throw up. I don't throw up. I don't get motion sickness. Most of the time when I'm sick, I don't throw up unless I have like a really high fever, and I'm just something like that. So I don't throw up. But yesterday I felt like I was gonna throw up, and I got to the point where I wish that I would just throw up so I could stop feeling like that. I felt so horrible. So this morning I woke up, I was sick again, went to school, wanted hot Cheetos, but didn't get them this time. I've been feeling better now. Now it's 1 o'clock, and I don't feel like I'm dying like I was yesterday. So I'm pretty sure it was just the hot Cheetos that made it that bad. But I still did wake up with morning sickness. So morning sickness has officially set in. Lucky me. The other thing is that lately I have been either extremely hungry or extremely full. Like I don't have a happy medium. There's nothing I can't just be comfortable. Like I feel really, really, really full or really, really, really hungry. And on top of that, I am tired all the time. Of course I'm tired. I've always been tired just because, I mean, I've kind of gotten used to it now, but like when you're running around chasing 3 toddlers all day, you tend to kind of get tired. But these past few days, I have been like falling asleep while walking tired. Like I am so dead. And on top of that, I have school. So I have been getting my butt in bed very early. So for symptoms, that's pretty much all that I've had. All that I've had has been a lot, but that's pretty much all that I had in terms of symptoms. So I wanted to talk to you guys about having a home birth. If you are part of my Facebook or my Instagram, then you know that this has already gone through my mind, and I'm just kind of, I'm really thinking about having a home birth. So a few weeks ago, just out of curiosity, I Googled midwives and my area to see if anybody popped up, because I'm in right in the middle of California in the valley, where it's very, I don't know what the right word is. It's like the opposite of the Bay Area. It just doesn't seem like a place where people would be having home births. I've never heard of a home birth in my area. So I didn't think that I'd even find anybody. But I did. I found someone who lives in my city who is a midwife. So I called her up. We talked for like an hour, and man, I must say it is so different talking to a midwife. Like you never call your doctor's office and talk to your OB, like very rarely, unless something's gone wrong. Like you never talk to your OB. So I just called her, and she was taking her kids to the pool, and she just like, me and her just talked for like an hour, and it was like so awesome. Like it's like on a personal level. So that pretty much convinced me. If you remember my labor and delivery story, I think that's when I talked about it. With the twins, with Lilia, obviously I had an epidural, so I didn't really care if people came around me or whatever. With the twins, I left that hospital telling myself I would never go back, because during a contraction, everybody is different when they have contractions. I was one of those people where when I was having a contraction, I didn't want you talking to me, looking at me, touching me, especially not touching me. I was very like, just, I don't know, I just wanted to do my thing and not have everybody around me, like on me, and just like, I didn't care if you were there, but I just didn't want you touching me. So I'd be in the middle of a contraction, and the nurse would walk up, and it's their job, so I understand, but they'd be like, "Oh, hon, your monitor is not working. Let me fix it for you." And I'm like, "I'm having a contraction now. Can you just wait a minute?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, wait a minute. Okay, let me fix it. It's moving. It's not picking up. I gotta make sure it picks up." And I'm just like, "Please don't touch me. Just don't touch me. They're fine, please." So that just like killed the experience for me. It killed it. Even just having the monitors attached to me was too much touching for me. But it made everything hurt so much more. And then on top of that, having the nurses come in touching the monitors that are touching me, it was horrible. So hands down, hospital experience, not for me. I mentioned before that going natural with the twins was the best experience I ever had in my entire life. I am 100% planning on doing that again this pregnancy, or this delivery. I want a natural birth, not at a hospital. So like I said, I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. Like I said, I called the midwife, and she was amazing. So we set up an appointment for her to come to my house to talk, to get like more information about it. So she came over, and me and Drake and her just like talked in for like an hour, and she was explaining everything to me. And maybe I'll make a video on this later for people if you're like more interested in home births, but I was really, really, really surprised at the cost, because I thought it would be over the top expensive. I thought it would be like totally out of the question. Obviously, if you've had a baby before, you know how insurance works, how you have the co-pays. Well, depending on your insurance, you have the co-pays, you have the monthly fees. So total for having a baby, when insurance covers it, this isn't even talking about out of pocket, but when insurance covers it, you're still paying, depending, like I said, depending on your insurance, a couple $1,000s at least. So, and I'm sure this is different everywhere, but for her, or for all the midwives that I found that were in like this area, for her service, for the prenatal, during the birth, and postnatal for 10 weeks, the total for that is $3,700. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's it? So she requires an $800 deposit, and then she just requires that you're paid in full by your 36th week. It's pretty much equal to, if not even more, total, if you add up everything together, because that includes, like I said, all of your copays for all of your medicine and your doctor's visits, and then your delivery, and then the doctor's appointments after that. So it's pretty close to $3,700. I mean, I haven't sat there and added it up, but it's gotta be pretty close. So paying somebody $3,700 over a course of 9 months really isn't that much. It's not a lot, especially for something that I really, really, really want. And on top of that, she gives you baby care and all that stuff. So I asked her, I was just curious, like, of other expenses, like what else there is. And she said, well, depending on your insurance, of course, they may or may not cover some of the testing that has to be done. So what she does is she gives you the option to have every test done. She puts the test on the table, and she says, here are the pros, here are the cons, this is what I recommend. Then you get to choose whether or not you want to do the test. She'll tell you whether or not she thinks that one is good for you or not good for you, or whether you need it or don't need it. So she's very relaxed about everything. Everything is what you want. I'm probably just gonna have to make a separate video or just talk about it over the course of my pregnancy. There's like so much more I could talk about. So just let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to answer for you down below. And if there's too many questions, then I'll just answer in my next vlog. But I also want to say a lot of people, because I posted how we were gonna have a midwife and a home birth, a lot of people think that midwives are like a total risk. Like you're pretty much setting yourself up for your baby to die or you to die when you have a home birth. And a lot of people misunderstand that. A midwife is a medical professional. They know everything that an OB does. The only thing that they don't do is C-sections. And also what fascinated me, we got on the subject of C-sections, and the C-section rate around here, at least, I think it's in the US, is 1 in 3. 1 in 3 women end up with a C-section. Her C-section rate is 0.5%. That just like puts it in a perspective. Like, I mean, I know that OBs do high-risk pregnancies as well as everything else, so you kind of have to put that into consideration as well. But it's just crazy how it's like, it's just so different. Also, a lot of people think that midwives just come with gloves and they just like deliver your baby and then like you're done or whatever. But they have everything that they need. They have, if you bleed too much and you need some Pitocin to stop your bleeding, they have Pitocin. They have every drug, pretty much every drug that a hospital would have, and they have it at hand also. So it's not like they're just someone showing up, and you're just gonna like birth this baby and then just hand it over. Like it doesn't work like that. They have everything that they need. And if something were to go wrong, the chances of something going wrong so quick to where you would need medical attention right that second is not very high. Usually if something is going to go wrong, you can kind of pick up on it a few weeks before you go into labor. A lot of the emergency C-sections that need to be done are because of the hospital intervention that has, like, they put you on a lot of Pitocin and they put you on a lot of this drug and gave you this drug and did this and that. And not that there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you want, I'm totally for whatever birth you want, you should have. That's how I feel. And I really I hated the hospital birth experience. And knowing that it's perfectly safe to have a home birth with a midwife, considering that all my pregnancies have been pretty low risk, especially for having twins at 38.5 weeks and having no complications, I think I'm a pretty good candidate for a home birth. But yeah, I do just want to put out there that it's not risky. And where I live, I'm literally 5 minutes away from a hospital. And actually the ambulance, if something, God forbid, were to go wrong, the ambulance station's right at the main intersection of where I live. So it's like around the corner. That's where the ambulance in this town stations right there all the time. So if something were to go wrong, I'm pretty much 7 minutes away from the hospital. There really aren't risks for having a home birth when you have a low risk pregnancy. So like I said, let me know if you have any questions about that, but that's what I'm leaning towards right now. And at this point, she said that we should go ahead and order an early ultrasound just to kind of pinpoint my due date. So she told me to keep the ultrasound that I have on July 22nd, and I'm just gonna give her that information and then we're gonna go from there. I think that's pretty much all I have to update on. It was mostly just all of a sudden this week I have a million, like my pregnancy hormones have kicked in full blast, so I'm feeling sick and getting all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my probably 7-week belly, if that's how far along I am. So my shirt is very frilly, so you can't really see it with this shirt on, but with the shirt up, still not really a baby bump. So this is just, like I said before, skin from the boys. And I found my tape measure. Go ahead and measure. See what my starting point is. Alright, so I'm at about 33 inches. Yeah, I'm about 33 inches. And you can see my umbilical hernia is definitely still there. All right, so I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Sorry, my camera's about to die, so I have to go. Follow me on Instagram. I post there several pictures a day. Follow me on Facebook. I try to post there at least once a day. So I will put the links down below. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will talk to you for week 8. Bye, guys.